No, I think we've set about that this week. Really, we set the stall out earlier in the week in terms of the meetings that we had. The review of the game, so we were hugely positive around the performance that we put out there last weekend. This 8-day turnaround has allowed us a little bit more time to get the body right, and then also a little bit more time to sort of review and preview. In terms of the complacency, like the performance last weekend was just the start. It's just the foundation of what we want to try and build on. If we're going to win a World Cup, which is what we're here to do, we know that we're going to have to kick on from where we were. And yeah, that's been the main focus for us this week. I think there's some huge threats coming out of the Japanese team. We're aware that they're a very good side. It's great to be able to have Steve, to have an insight into the players they have in particular. And yeah, we're very aware that we know our position really well, and we're also aware that we need to put on the game on the field tomorrow afternoon.
They're not the Japan of old, but are they still capable of that?
Absolutely. You look at their record in World Cups, they've been absolutely fantastic and a brilliant team to watch over the last 8 years. And we're very aware of that. From what we've seen, they're a great side. We look at some of their games against Tier 1 teams, they've run a lot of them close, and they've had some good victories themselves also. So they're a very well coached team. They've still got some great players, and the focus for us this week has been making sure that we try and kick on with our game and build on the good foundations we put out there in terms of the character and fight we showed last week.
Tom, how pleased were you with how the scrum went against Argentina? You've got Carlson and Joe Marler coming in this time. How does that change things?
Yeah, I think we had some good processes against Argentina, and we stuck to what we said we were going to do. But Jamie was excellent in the middle, leading that. He'll play that one again this week. It'll be a different challenge for us. We selected a team that we think is right for this match. I'm sure Japan, I know they spoke about their having a smart plan this weekend. We'll want to come and scrimmage. It'll be a good contest there for us.
Maro, the fans played a big role in the Marseille, didn't they? How inspiring is that? You've got a message for them, maybe the ones who've travelled over this game as well. You're looking for the same aspect.
I think we've seen with the England fans at major tournaments across all sports, not just rugby, but across all sports, how amazing they are in terms of their support and noise and how much they get behind their teams. And last week was exactly that. We were looking at the crowd and seeing the pride and passion in their faces, and they were screaming at full volume. And as players, we appreciate that. As players, we actually love it when the fans bring that energy, that passion to the game, and it definitely gives us an extra spring in our step.
Jamie, when the scrum is sort of working like that, as a front row, you can tell when feeling that they are going to go well, there's certain things that be in place.
You generally know on the first engagement, really, to be honest. Obviously, no two scrums are the same, but we're really happy with where our scrum is at. We work really hard. Tom works us too hard at times. But we love it. All good English teams need to be based around a solid and dominant set piece. And that's been a major focus for us. And we felt really good against Argentina. I thought Cole was outstanding, as was Ellis. And the guys that came on too did a really good job. And we're hoping to just, again, like I said before, this is just a start for us as a scrum. Japan have a really good, efficient scrum. We want to make sure that we try and find dominance in that area, and it's something that's been a big focus for us this week.
And in every World Cup, there's 1 or 2 teams that build all the way through. That's, I suppose, where you want to be, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think when you reflect back 4 years ago, that's kind of what we did in Japan. And there are a lot of. It's funny, with the worst team in the world 2 weeks ago, and suddenly with the best team in the world, it's quite funny how that can change in 2 weeks' time. But I think for us, we're serving our game ahead of ourselves. We don't believe all the hype around us, much like we didn't believe all the criticism that was coming our way previously. It's just for us about making sure that we make the most out of every day. We're very clear about what each training day looks like and what we need to get out of it. I think the leadership of the team, from the top down, from the coaches to the players, has been excellent. We're never never as far ahead of ourselves as we try and think they are. And it's been, the feeling in the group's been great. And like I say, we just want to build throughout the tournament.
And in terms of the line, that's been in many ways going well for a good while. But it's been coming to another level of dominance.
Yeah, similar to the song really, we're happy with where we are, but not content though. We still feel there's loads of improvement. Even, last week we won one on the board, but it wasn't the delivery wasn't as tidy as we would have liked. So there's definitely areas to improve, even with our more solid, but probably not as dominant as we would like. So yeah, that's another area for us to take a step forward.
Is it quite a good place to be there? Or you've been comfortable where you are? You can also see growth within the club in the tournament. It's not so.
Well, yeah, I think we're again, what we are where we are. It's I don't think it's necessarily neither good or bad. It's just where we are, and no matter where you are, there's always another level to get to, and that's the level that we're trying to get to.
Yeah, last week you were very impressive in defense, but do you think it can be more difficult to defend against Japan with players who run everywhere, who attack everywhere?
Japan have a very different style to Argentina, who we played last week. Obviously, they move the ball a lot more, and they are very impressive with how they play and the spirit and the energy they play. That presents opportunities. That presents it also presents challenges for us. So for us, I think we're excited by the opportunity and to defend against perhaps a slightly different way of attacking and hopefully impose our game on them. But obviously it's something that we're going to need to be conscious of.
Tom, question on Kyle.
Yes.
Last World Cup, a lot of people probably consider him one of the premier tight ends in the world. He's obviously had injury issues since then. Last week, he said he had work structure or something to that effect. Do you think he can get back to that level at this World Cup?
100%. I would say it's not far from it. I mean, you go back, it's 4 years ago. These players, like I said, next to the players in our change room, our squad have got better in 4 years' time. And I've been really impressed with how Kyle has pushed himself to get better.
I know you have worked through that period, but what sort of growth have you seen in this game? How's it different?
I think he's refinding his aggression. He's refinding his ability, especially when he gets his hands on the ball. He's got quite a difference there.
You want an angry part?
An angry control.
Quick one to Jamie. Just wondering how much playback you got for your cricketing list. Some members of backroom staff who were furious.
Yeah, well, listen, if they want to put their hand up for selection, then they need to have a talk to the captain. I pick a team. And for me, there is no one in the backroom staff who gets anywhere near enough starting 11.
I just thought sort of heavy serious question, but I know there's quite a bit of competitive tension around the paddle tournament and there's golf going on. And overall, how important is it to have that release away from rugby and how relaxed, how easy is it to be relaxed in this environment, maybe compared to the previous ones you've been involved in?
Yeah, I think it's again, we take what we can away from the last World Cup, and what we did really well was being able to get away from it all. Rugby can be quite, encompassing, and the pressures of the World Cup are high, and I think we're really lucky to be based in the 2K, and people in the 2K have been so kind to us. And being able to get out and play golf or play paddle tennis, I'm organising a paddle tournament next week. Start having players. So Tim's playing, we'll probably go out in the first round. But it's important, and it's also important for us as a team to get together and enjoy each other's company. And myself and Maro come from a team that's in Saracens that really see the importance of how close you are off the field brings you tighter on the field. And there are a lot of other guys within the group from other clubs as well that believe in that. And, Steve's a big believer in that, the coach is a big believer in that. we want to make sure that we enjoy ourselves while we're out here. We embrace the French culture and competitive juices flowing in other ways, I suppose.
And just on back of that, did you see the rugby team and the cricket team today?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
They injured Jason Lloyd at fullback.
He was on the wing, I think. Butler at fullback. Yeah, I'm impressed with their team. I've heard Jason Roy was a bit of a player back in the day. I've spoken to Johnny Bairstow, fancies himself in 10. I'm not sure about Joe Bruno. I'm not convinced he's going to enjoy things up front, but he's a tough Yorkshireman, so maybe PRI is skillful enough to throw in, I suppose. So maybe we'll meet up one day for a throwing session.
Just to make it a bit more serious, we're going to both of the players. Okay, you played fantastically well as a team last week. You didn't score any tries, but you scored 27 points, and it's about points. Does it matter to you as a group how you win, or is it? I think it doesn't matter that you win.
For me, it's by any means necessary. I don't obviously would like to score tries, score loads of tries. But for me, it's by any means necessary. As long as we get the win, every game is different. Every game is going to present different challenges, and I think the task is to find ways to get on the positive side of it as well.
You know the same thing.
Yeah, so do. I think the only thing I'd add is like great English teams that I've watched growing up and I've been a part of, base their game around great defence, great set piece. And as long as we're doing that, I think our attacking game flows off the back of it. And we're a team that has a big intention to move the ball. Richard Woodward, that's a brilliant coach. George Ford and Alex Mitchell are driving us around beautifully. Got players who can do special things. So I think, like I say, you've just seen the start of us so far in this tournament, and we're going to look to build, and hopefully you'll see many different ways of us scoring points over the course of the tournament.
Okay.
So, question to Marlo. Japan moved, as you mentioned before in the answer, but Japan have a very quick ball carrying. And how do you hope to respond to that?
Well, as with any team, but particularly with the opposition that we're playing this weekend, the aim, the objective for us, for our team, both as individuals and as a collective, is to impose our game on them. We know they move the ball. We know they're a very clever team, come up with very clever plays. However, the goal, the task is to enforce the English style of rugby in this game. So we wanna want them to throw their best hand, and we wanna defend it well. We wanna impose our physicality. We wanna to get into our set piece game, etc. And the opportunity is right. Our generals will fire us in attack. So yes, they move the ball, but it's all about us imposing our will on them.
And George Cleese has mentioned that you were the best player that he ever came across. So what kind of...
Sorry, but did you sure that wasn't even talking about me? George since I was 18.
I gave George some money this week, so.
Can you just tell us what you were learning from him?
No, George, I played with George since I came to Saracens. He's had a big influence in my career. We've had a lot of success playing with each other. I've learned a lot from him then, and now working with him a bit more as, I guess, on a coaching capacity. He's brilliant. He's a brilliant, he's a smart individual, brilliant line-up mind, and he's good for me, challenging me on certain things, and I've been picking his brains on certain things as well, so he's been great.
And just a quick question to Tom about how has been strengthening its scrum as a key point. And how do you see Japan's scrum from your point of view, such as like looking at the game between like Japan and Chile?
Yeah, look, I think Jamie spoke about it earlier. The smart scrum and they're efficient. I mean, you've got Goo in the front row. They're definitely not an area where they're weak. So this can be a huge contest for us. It's clear that they've been working on it since we last played against them.
Yeah, question for Jimmy. Last week we fought Argentina. Nobody in your country believed in you. Do you think, have you got a feeling that opinion has changed since your victory in Argentina? And is it easier for you to work with this new atmosphere around the team?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I think there were a lot of people that did believe in what we were doing. There was a lot of outside noise and a lot of negativity after the Fiji game, I think probably rightly so. At the same time, like Maro's alluded to, we're in a major tournament. The English community generally gets behind the team, or always gets behind the team whenever we're in big tournaments. And that's one special thing. We feel that, we feed off that. And we love the fact that, as Maro said, seeing fans in the stands, how much it means to them, that just is fuel to the fire with us. But it's not necessarily just the people in the stands, it's the messages that we're getting from back home, messages that I've had this week from friends and family saying how much it means. Not just necessarily the result, but the way that we went about it. I think English teams should be about, how much we're willing to fight for each other and how much showing what playing for England means to us. And I spoke about that the night before the game, and I said that we shouldn't ever shy away from that. We shouldn't shy away from being, showing how proud we are to be here. For some of us, this might be our last major tournament, and we don't want to have any regrets coming away from this. And I think it's important. I've spoken about it before, and I'll keep speaking about it. The engagement that we have with the fans and people back home means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the team. So, the more that we can show that, give them things to shout about, give them things to be proud of, the better.
Thanks very much. Well, thank you. Cheers.
Arigato gozaimasu.